Straight ahead on 12 News, ready, set, vote. Anxious anglers have waited long enough to take to the lake, but see how some boaters aren't getting the message about a big problem. Then, reevaluating another summer pastime. What Brooklyn Park is doing now to get people into the game of golf. But first, slicing and dicing up the session. We go to local lawmakers for a report card on 2013. 12 News starts right now. The political spin is underway after lawmakers wrapped up the legislative session with a flurry of votes.
The biggest vote was on the budget. A bill that raises $2 billion in new taxes cleared the Senate late Monday night. It increases taxes on cigarettes and high-income earners. The money will give a hefty infusion of cash to K-12 schools and help freeze tuition at state colleges for the next 2 years. It also erases the state's $600 million budget deficit. Some of the cigarette money will provide backup funding for the Viking Stadium. Lawmakers also passed a scaled-down bonding bill that funds restoration work at the state capitol. Not everything worked out in the DFL-controlled legislature. They decided against a tax increase on alcohol and a new tax on clothing. And the House and Senate could not agree on a minimum wage increase. DFL leaders had considered that a priority early in the session.
So were there winners and losers in this legislative session? And we sat down with local lawmakers for their summary of the session that was. From the jubilation of supporters over passage of same-sex marriage equality,
the bill is passed,
to the outcry of opponents after a daycare unionization bill was passed.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Yes. Mr. Speaker. Go ahead and applaud. That's right. Go ahead and let him applaud. Mr. Speaker.
Stop. Stop.
Let him applaud. Mr. Speaker. Clear the deck, Mr. Speaker. We're not in charge of it. Let them applaud. They own the place.
The 2013 legislative session was anything but quiet.
We did the things that we said we were going to do. We ran on giving property tax relief. We ran on getting more funding for K-12 education.
How legislators summarize the session or spin it depends largely on party.
Over $2 billion in new taxes, new revenue. Every taxpayer in the state of Minnesota will be negatively affected financially by what they have done.
The session ended with the passage of a 2-year, $38 billion budget that increases funding for schools and offers property tax relief, as well as erases the state's projected $627 million deficit.
I think there's a lot of winners out there.
This is not something.
Republican Sarah Anderson of Plymouth sees it differently, namely when it comes to new taxes on businesses.
It's basically a sign to all businesses in the state or any that are interested in coming here to say, don't come to Minnesota because you're going to get hit hard.
And so,
summed up with letter grades.
I'm afraid I don't have a high grade for this legislative session.
Area Republicans Warren Limmer and Sarah Anderson give the session below average marks with a C- and D. Democrats Ann Rest and Michael Nelson give their party's work in the legislature a solid B+. And for now, the majority party gets the final word.
I think it was a good session. I think there were some things that we would have liked to see happen that didn't, but it was a good session.
Lawmakers head back now to their districts until the 2014 session begins in February. Brooklyn Park is bringing in help to upgrade its golf courses.
The City Council voted to hire a consulting firm to identify ways to make improvements. And as Renee Bonneau reports, not everyone is on par with the decision.
This spring reminds us the success of a golf season is at the mercy of Mother Nature.
We thought we were ready to open a couple times and then we'd get the snow.
But at Brooklyn Park's 2 golf courses, many blame the economic climate for a steady drop in revenue over the last few years.
Both have been seeing a decline in use, and mainly it's because the economy's taken a turn, and so not as many people have disposable income to play golf.
The Golf 2.0 concept, unveiled this spring at Brookland Golf Park, is designed to attract new and former golfers with features that include relaxed rules and larger holes. But city staff say there's still room for improvement, especially at its crown jewel, Edinburgh, USA.
We still want to look at all aspects of our operation and see if there's something we can do to improve how we're providing services, increase revenue and decrease expenses.
The City Council voted to hire Colorado consulting firm Golf Convergence. It'll analyze all aspects of operation at both courses, including maintenance, marketing, and finances. The price tag for a summer's worth of work, more than $23,000.
Why all these consultants all of a sudden?
Rich Gates was the only council member who voted against hiring outside help. He says city staff should do its own legwork.
Talking to its members, talking to people who are just out on the course, and then finding residents who don't golf and find out why. We can make minor improvements without having to pay $25,000 for a consultant to do it.
In Brooklyn Park, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
The consultants will get to work in June and are expected to report back to the city in August.
Now to a problem that continues to impact many families, home foreclosures. Today, advocates for stable housing joined city and school officials in Plymouth to address the issue. Experts agree the problem is twofold: a lack of affordable housing and resources not reaching people on the brink of foreclosure.
We've recently learned that there are homeless kids living in Maple Grove Senior High, which is totally unacceptable, and I have no doubt that some of those, that's a result of their families losing their homes to foreclosures. So we need to do better, and together we can do better.
Roxanne Smith says developers are eager to do affordable housing projects. The challenge is funding them.
If the weather cooperates, this is the weekend boaters are expected to take to the lakes in large numbers, and that brings a renewed threat of spreading invasive species. The DNR is especially concerned about zebra mussels and is urging boaters to help keep them from spreading. Most people realize the importance of this, but some repeat offenders just don't seem to get the message.
I can personally speak to one last year where the person was a repeat offender within the same week on different bodies of water by different conservation officers, me being one of them. So it is out there, and we have to deal with those people, and we are dealing with them.
24 boat ramps will have hot water decontamination units available to clean boats and trailers. 150 inspectors will be stationed at the busiest boat launches all around the state. A fine could cost you up to $1,000.
Even if the weather warms up, the lake water will still be much colder than usual over the Memorial Day holiday. Officials say the threat of hypothermia makes it more important than ever to wear life jackets. And through a program with North Memorial Hospital, they are available to use free of charge at 3 locations around Lake Minnetonka.
Ice has just left the lakes not that long ago, so people have to understand it's not swimming water. I would recommend wearing your life jacket at all times. Life jackets not only keep you afloat, but it also provides some insulation from the cold water.
North Memorial officials are working with Cabela's and hope to make life jackets available to borrow at other lakes in Hennepin County later this summer. Well, now is prime time for allergy sufferers.
Up next, solutions for the sneezing and wheezing. Then later in sports, the softball playoffs are underway for local teams. We'll have the highlights.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast.
A community center for people with disabilities is doubling in size in Brooklyn Park to handle a big jump in the number of autistic patients. LifeWorks is a nonprofit that helps people with disabilities become part of the community. That means helping them find work with local employers. And they've seen a dramatic increase in the numbers of people with autism and a need for more space and specialized services.
We also have a multi-sensory environment that allows us to use cool sensory tools, lights, music, vibrations, to help people get their body to that just right place so they're not either sleepy or really over the top anxious.
And that helps people with autism focus better so they can learn and communicate. LifeWorks serves about 160 people in Brooklyn Park. Most of them work with local employers. An estimated 40 million Americans suffer from seasonal allergies, and the late start to spring this year has many of us feeling the effects right now.
The good news for seasonal allergy sufferers is that this allergy season shouldn't last too long. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. And Delane, it is hitting pretty hard this spring, it sounds like.
Yes, indeed, Mike and Alex. This is an ironic time if you're a seasonal allergy sufferer. On the one hand, you're probably excited about the end to the long winter. But on the other hand, you're also feeling miserable because spring is in full bloom.
We're starting to see it. It was definitely delayed from what we would typically see. With the delayed snowpack as the snow started to melt, I think we did see some mold issues early on, but now it's starting to be more kind of the general pollens.
Dr. Mendiola at the HCMC Brooklyn Center Clinic says she started seeing more people come in with allergy symptoms about 2 weeks ago. It's the result of different environmental triggers in the air, such as dust, mold, grass, and tree pollen. It's tree pollen that doctors say is the biggest culprit right now. Experts recommend that allergy sufferers be careful if they hear reports of high pollen counts. Otherwise, they should find a good over-the-counter antihistamine.
If you know that you get spring allergies, you probably want to start taking the medications even before it really kind of gets into full blast, just to make sure that you have the medications on board, and just sort of plan to take it now through probably at least mid to late June.
Some of the medications Dr. Mendiola recommends are Claritin, Allegra, Zyrtec, and Benadryl. It should take about a week to find out which medication is most effective for you. Mike and Alex?
All right, thanks, Delane. I take 2 of those 4, and it's still struggle a little bit.
We need a sneeze on cue right about now.
Just about now.
Coming up, 2 ways local residents are sprucing up their city.
But first in sports, the Maple Grove boys tennis team aims for a spot in the Section 5 championship match. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back. Jay Wilcox now with a look at sports, and so far so good this year for Maple Grove tennis. I mean, they've been doing pretty well and playing again today.
Yeah, he's got to give them a look, right? So when
yeah,
they come around.
Yeah, they've definitely had a good run these last couple of years and trying to keep on building that thing up. Maple Grove's boys tennis team has been ranked in the top 5 all season. The Crimson hope to take care of business in the Section 5AA semifinals when they face Blaine indoors at Lifetime Fitness in Fridley. Number 2 doubles, Jacob Endres serve sets up the overhead winner here for the Crimson. Another nice serve coming up by Endres sets up a smash winner by Venura with Wanawasam. Maple Grove wins this match 6-love, 6-1. In the number 1 doubles match, Derek Marvin serves for Maple Grove and Trevor Kleinshay puts away the winner. Matt Saraki serves for Blaine. Connor Ingalls with an athletic shot for the volley winner for the Bengals, and they take that game. But later, Marvin rips a cross-court forehand winner for the Crimson, and they take this match in straight sets. To number 1 singles, it's Tyler Pratt in the far court for Blaine. Zach Adkins for Maple Grove. Nice net play here by Adkins. Nets him the point. And then a good rally is won by Pratt with a backhand winner as a good match between these two. And later it's Adkins taking advantage of Pratt's second serve as he'll rip a backhand winner of his own. Adkins goes on to win the match as the Crimson wins 7-0 to advance to Tuesday afternoon's final against Mounds View. In softball, the playoffs started Monday for many local squads. In Section 5 3A, a handful of teams from the area took the field for first-round games on Monday. That includes 8th seed Osseo facing number 9 seed Champlin Park. The Rebels' Gabby Paulsrud lines a hit up the middle. Kara Stuckmeyer comes around to score from second, and it's 1-0 Champlin Park in the second inning. Still in the second, and Jordan Genrich drills a hit that bounces to the fence in center field. Courtney Potter comes around to score for a 3-0 lead on Genrich's double. The Rebels get 4 in that inning. They keep hitting well in the third. Sophia Johnson grounds a hit to the left side. It'll score Stuckmeyer. The Orioles get an out at third on this play, but it's 5-0 Champlin Park as Johnson reaches second base. Genrich comes through again, nailing a hit to the gap in right center. Johnson scores, and Potter comes in behind her. Champlin Park gets 5 runs in the third to take a 9-0 lead. Osseo chips away from there. Ashley Siss singles up the middle in the 5th inning to bring Courtney Calkins in. The Orioles are within 9-3. But it's Champlin Park's day. Abby Nettermeyer singles to left in the 6th inning to score a pair of runs as the Rebels roll to an 11-4 win. They're facing top seed Maple Grove Tuesday afternoon. Also in Section 5, Park Center faces Rogers. Rogers at bat. The pitch gets away. Alex Cassidy dashes home to score, but watch her pick up a live ball and hand it to the pitcher. Her run scores, but the other base runner is out. It's 2-0 Royals. They maintain that lead with plays like this. Alexi Peterson strikes out. Carrie Musial tagged out at trying to steal by Madison Anderson. Rogers looking for more in the 6th. Caitlin Kementmuller with the drive to deep center. Nice catch, though, by Danielle Schaub. Park Center gets on the board in the 7th. The usual crowds a hit up the middle to score MJ Jellison, but that's as close as they get as Park Center is eliminated by Rogers 2-1. In Section 6 3A softball, Armstrong had just a couple of wins in the regular season, but the Falcons look to start the playoffs on a good note. They faced Minneapolis South in the first round with Armstrong up 1-0. South loads the bases. Maddie Thielen's grounded a third, results in a forced play at the plate. In the third, Caitlin Jones smacks a single to center field for Armstrong. Lexi Ripka is in to score, and Holly Weiborg's team leads it 2-0. In the fourth, Sammy Smith delivers a base hit to center. Joyce Yellowhammer scores, and Armstrong's lead grows to 4-0. And that's enough for pitcher Caitlin Walksmith, who gets a great play in the field behind her on this one. Right fielder Smith snares it for a nice shoestring catch. The Falcons win 4-0. They face Orono Wednesday after second-round games scheduled for Tuesday were postponed. Also in Section 6, 7th seed Cooper pounds Richfield 12-2. The Hawks face number 2 seed Hopkins in the second round on Wednesday afternoon. Armstrong's girls lacrosse team was looking to clinch at least a tie for the Northwest Suburban Conference title Monday evening. The Falcons at home against Andover. From the free position, Amy Master puts the shot away and makes it 2-0 Armstrong, and they are just getting started. Heather Kaluzniak delivers a nice pass, and Kelsey Ostick converts, scoring from close range for a 5-0 Falcons lead as they continue to share the wealth in this one. From the free position, Callie Reinhardt gets in on the fun, bouncing the shot in. That one makes it 7-0 Falcons. Miranda Kelberer takes the pass and tucks the shot in for Armstrong. They dominate to take an 8-0 lead on the Huskies. Kaluzniak weaves through the D to put another one home to push the lead to 14-1. Armstrong wins 17-1 to clinch a share of the league title, and they can win it outright by beating second place Coon Rapids on Saturday. So definitely been a great spring for them so far.
All right, thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, a city that hopes to see the forest for the trees.
Plus, away in Golden Valley to unearth your inner green thumb. We'll be right back. Well, finally, getting in touch with nature from Golden Valley to Plymouth.
This weekend in Golden Valley, you can take part in the city's annual Lilac project. Volunteers are needed to weed and survey previously planted areas along Highway 55. Right now, 16 people are signed up, but organizers are hoping for at least 25. And to volunteer, you can call 512-2341. Volunteers are needed from 9 to noon on Saturday. And in Plymouth tomorrow, more than 150 volunteers will help plant a forest. That's right, volunteers will dig in and plant 1,000 trees to celebrate 20 years of volunteerism in the city. The planting will be held near 57th Avenue and Dunkirk Lane from 9 to noon on Wednesday. We're hoping to get out there and see some of those volunteers in action.
Should be fun, and a lot of trees going in the ground.
That's right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you back here.